Hello, guys. Welcome to an episode of the E-commerce Lab by Ecomcy, the place of everything related to Amazon FBA, private label, and e-commerce. My name is Vincenzo Toscano, your host, founder, and CEO of Ecomcy. And today I bring you another special guest. His name is Neil, and he's the founder and CEO of Voltage, which is one of the top digital marketing agencies out there that specialize on helping businesses succeed on Amazon. That's why I wanted to bring Neil today because actually before going live, having a conversation about the shift that the market is taking when it comes to how you successfully can have a business on Amazon. What are some of the other channels you should be bringing into the equation to successfully navigate 2024? So it's a pleasure for me, Neil, to have you here. I know you have so many years of experience, and I actually have learned so many things from you as well. So welcome to the show. How you doing, my friend?
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I'm doing great today. It's a beautiful day here in the country. We've got temperatures to near 60 degrees. And after it being like
Wow.
-5, we're out in t-shirt and shorts and enjoying ourselves. So it's good to have sun and a little warm where we live. So I'm feeling pretty blessed today.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So tell me a little bit about you, Ned. I know you've been in the space for so many years now. In fact, I told you
Wow.
when I had a look at your LinkedIn, I said, wow, you've been in the game from 2007, like huge amount of time. So I bet you have seen everything, the rise and
You know
fall
a
of so
lot.
many things.
Yeah.
So tell me a little about how you founded Voltage,
Yeah.
and what are some of the things you guys specialize at Voltage? Huh?
Yeah. So, I mean, in simple terms, to keep it non-boring, the simple 30-second overview of my life. So people, I don't like to get on and people like, people talk for 1 hour about themselves. Nobody really cares. I want to get to the content that's most important. But just in simple terms, yeah, I've been around since 2007. We got started in the Amazon space in 2012, launching brands, specifically home and kitchen niche and other brands, and have gone on to
Mhm.
pretty much sell in every brand except electronics and every niche on Amazon. So I've got a breadth of experience in that. I've launched thousands of products and probably hundreds, if not 1,000 brands between ourselves and our
Wow.
clients. And so we've gotten deep into that market and probably been one of the longest, I think, people involved outside of maybe Amy Weiss and a couple of my
Yeah.
friends who have been in there just a little bit longer than me, who saw
Mhm.
the kind of the early days in the growth of that market. Prior to that, I was in affiliate marketing. I was in paid traffic and media, doing lead generation online, literally uploading spreadsheets into systems because there was no web interfaces like Facebook Marketplace and Facebook and ads and Google and this stuff that wasn't existing in that same way. And I was doing affiliate marketing specifically on mobile traffic for dating app downloads, and got extremely
Wow.
good at that and learned the media buying, which led me into really e-commerce and kind of owning the whole offer. So, I mean, in simple terms, that's me. I've been in the digital online world since 2007. And when I left IBM to go basically do my own thing, jumped out, took a little early retirement opportunity because I didn't want to move to Argentina because that was my option. And then basically set off on my own and never looked back, and have stayed involved in the e-commerce world for most of that, really, in some other way, shape, or form, not just Amazon. And so that gives me, I mean, a little bit of insights into trends and changes and market shifts and adaptations in the market. And I think that's one of the most interesting things we can talk about today is, 2024 is a very different
Mhm.
shift than I
Yeah.
have seen in the world of e-commerce in the last 10 years.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first of all, congrats on everything you have achieved. I mean, the amount of experience you're bringing to the table is amazing. And in fact, all the things I hear about you and your company, Voltage, is always top notch. So keep up the good work.
Wonderful.
Now, regarding the topic, yes, I mean, I'm sure by working with so many clients, now you have starting to identify what is the right business approach when it comes to selling on Amazon. We always talk about, we have wholesale, we have private label, we have arbitrage, we have so many different, basically, ways of attacking this business. But
Yeah.
realistically, I'm sure you have identified certain, basically, yeah, patterns around what is working, what is not. So tell me a little bit, based on everything you're seeing on a daily basis, what realistically is happening in Amazon 2024, like what you see is coming to the platform, and
Yeah.
what is going to work and what is not going to work anymore.
Well, in obvious terms, they've made major shifts in their policy for product movement and logistics, causing basically a change in the way you have to move the product and manage the product timeline. It's just in time, inventory is one of the things most people
Hmm.
have not been that aware of in the past. They've been able to skirt around the concept of managing it, and right now you can't do that anymore
Yeah.
due to the amount of volume, the pricing, the inventory. Storage levels at FBA and up in
Yeah.
AWD, their warehouse distribution, and even at the third parties, more of the just-in-time logistics is very, very important right now. So you don't get the fees for having not enough inventory and the fees for having too much
Hmm.
inventory. You've got to move right in that middle wave. And we've sort of been operating that way for many, many years. So it's not surprising to us to see those changes, and it doesn't really affect us. But I know a lot of sellers are not really attuned to that. And specifically on the private label side, that's very different than, say, wholesale, retail, or any other kind of arbitrage-based Amazon business model. Things we don't do. And I don't really recommend, honestly, because it's very hard to maintain the guidelines and profitability requirements of Amazon in today's world, 2024, than it was even just 2 years ago. And so you're seeing a lot of those types of models starting to fail very fast. Because they weren't really unsustainable. Yes, they're quick profits and they have upside potential. But once you get into employees, warehouses, and infrastructure costs for growth, or what are referred to as economies of scale in those business models, they start to top out really fast. And I discovered that in 2016 when we did our own version of that. And so got history in that, had 20 something thousand square feet and 12 employees running about 10 trucks a week through a wholesale division before anybody was doing it really that I know on scale. In my network, I'm sure someone else was doing it. I just didn't know them. If I had, they hopefully would have told me to stop doing that, because we had to shut it all down and fire everybody, because really the profit margins were not there. It was too much to maintain and manage. And I created an 80-hour work week, and I didn't want that. I had brands, and we run brands of our own, and we have products of our own, and we're sellers. And so that basically just took, what we call a crime of opportunity in our business model now. To go do those kinds of things. So I really recommend people start with private label. Even now, you start with private label and build an actual brand. It has the longest intrinsic value. It has the most upside potential in terms of not just profitability, but salability. And as we are brokering and buying companies at Voltage, that's one of the things we look for. And I know a lot of the industry of buying and selling and M&A, mergers, acquisitions in this world are looking for that. And specifically, you can see it falling out from things like Thrasio and other companies that are now going bankrupt and stuff. So, they over leveraged and went too far. You got to be smart. You got to sort of stay in the middle. Don't be on the extreme. And Amazon is still a huge opportunity for people just getting started. But I would always say, go for private label. While it's a little bit more costly and a little bit more work up front, the middle and the longevity of the business model create more sustainability for you and more profitability ultimately. And you build a saleable asset that somebody wants to purchase in 3 to 5 years after you grow it. So it really is true business building in the end of the day, because you're building assets. It is more difficult, and that makes it not for everybody. Let's just be very clear, right?
Yeah, in fact, something that I love about private label is that you're building an asset. You're building something that, in the long term, and when you exit, and we all know that's where you make most of your money, is when you exit your business. And with the wholesale, that's not the case, because wholesale is all about the connections and the person, the supplier that when you're gone, the business is gone, right? But at the same time, I bet you get this question all the time. Some people ask me, yes, private label, of course, have that advantage that you build an asset. But wholesale, you're working with brands that already have a demand. You don't have to run PPC. It's basically it's all about best pricing. So what is your take and maybe a comment on those people that tell you that, like, wholesale, you just have to find brands that sell, and you just click and forget.
Well, let's say you order 5,000 units of a product that you're attached to someone else's listing. It's selling really well. And for 2 or 3 months, or maybe even 2 or 3 years, that's going great. But then let's say, like, in the first quarter of 2024, 2 of the major brands in Amazon pull their listing ability and take it back private label, and L'Oreal being one of them. Now you're stuck with thousands of units. You can't move. You'll violate the agreement on Amazon if you try to sell them. You can't attach to their listings anymore. And they're also trying to make it requirements of that change that you can't move it to third-party places like eBay or other stuff. Well, they'll come after you, which means they're going to sue you for selling that inventory. So now you're stuck with it. So there are both pros and cons. Okay, that's one of the major cons. You don't control the listing. You don't control the brand. You don't control the outcome. You're at the mercy of the market, and you're usually playing with auto pricing tools and whatnot to try to outgun the other auto pricing tools so that you can flip a product. And typically by the time it gets to market, it might have $10 or $12 in profit, but then you might end up with $2 and $3 just to move it. And all the argument would be, well, Neil, I can move volume. For me, volume is a vanity metric, just like revenue, just like how many units you sell a day and crap like that. Those are all vanity metrics, really.
I know.
At the end of the day, it's how profitable can I sell a unit and how many can I sell in my account. That's all that really matters. From there, I can determine market share and upside potential of other products and whatnot. But all that matters at first is, can I sell the freaking product, right?
Exactly.
Okay. If I can sell
you're
the
always chasing.
Product, that's right.
And that's the thing. You're also always chasing, because
you
never have the peace of mind that your product is gonna that product is gonna sell forever. So every single day it's like you
Sure.
have to be chasing the next brand, the next
There's
SKU
a
that's gonna
lot of
sell. Yeah.
chasing and a
So,
lot of time, a
yeah.
lot of energy and effort that are put into that. And the
Yeah.
outcomes are you are basically moving somebody else's brand. You are an affiliate of their brand. Let's call
Exactly.
it what it is. People
Exactly.
want to call it wholesale, but at the end of the day, you are basically moving someone else's brand value. Okay. For me,
Exactly.
that was an opportunity that we took. Okay. But it turned into what we call a crime of opportunity. Because really, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, somebody else was getting a nicer Lambo, and he was like, "Well, if you work harder, I can get a nicer,
Exactly.
I can get a nicer
Yeah.
Lambo next year." I'm like, "Well, that
They
sucks."
yeah, I mean, they show the $1 million accounts, but at the end of the day,
Well,
what is the real profit? You could
seven
make 2 million.
7%
Yeah,
net profit is what it
yeah,
ended up for us on 8
yeah,
figures. And we're like,
yeah,
well, dang it, we can get closer to 30% on private label for
exactly,
multi 7 figures and see that much more profitable and much more upside potential. Nobody wants to buy the job and it turns into a job. Those are the negatives.
exactly.
It literally turned into an 80-hour week. I had to fly twice a month to Utah and then deal with
Wow.
human, resource issues and other problems. It just became a big headache. So we ended up shutting the whole thing down. So if you're
Mm,
wondering, well, I can flip a few products and made some side hustle cash and turn this into a hobby business. Okay. Yes, there
yeah,
are pros to this. There are quick cash flips. You don't have to build the brand and you can jump on and sell some products and maybe sell an extra $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month or so. Okay. And that no one's going to shake a stick at that. Like I started from small means and humble beginnings and, my
mhm,
back was against the wall and I flipped products for profit in order to get my business off the ground to feed my family. No shame in the game. Just understand is if you continue to raise that bar, you need to look at building something of an asset value. If you start there,
exactly.
you can move quickly, you can get going, but know that that is simply just a step on the pathway. Don't end up there. Don't build into tens of thousands of warehouse square feet and this kinds of stuff. That's where you're going to get into a lot of trouble. So those
Yeah,
are, there's opportunities to move faster into profit than private label and to move that profit relatively fast into a good place for you. And you might need that. Cool. More power to it. But
mhm,
ultimately, you're building kind of a house of cards. You're building a
yeah,
foundation that's going to need a lot more infrastructure, a lot more
yeah,
cost, a lot more manpower. And if
yeah,
that's you and you wanted that manpower, okay, great. I mean, not everybody's cut out for business building. Not everybody's cut out to be an entrepreneur. Sometimes,
exactly.
jobs are jobs.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
maybe you want to build a job in your business, and that's cool.
yeah,
That's, again, not to speak negatively for those who are making money for their family and getting it done, right?
yeah, of
But
course.
ultimately, you got
Also,
to look at the bigger picture if you're going to work and be in 3 to 5 years worth of momentum to build something that somebody else wasn't willing to do. So you're going to live like nobody else can afterwards. And
yeah,
I will tell you that end of that yellow brick road does not happen with 20,000 square feet of warehouse and 12 employees. You built yourself a
mm,
job.
yeah, yeah. That's great. I mean, you picture the whole thing so clearly, and it's great that you describe it in this way because I feel nowadays there's still so many, gurus out there
There
making
are.
it so easy. Like, yeah, have your warehouse, have your products from different suppliers, make millions, and that's it. Buy the Lambo, and it's not like that. And I wanted to, use your experience so you could describe the real
It's not like
situation.
that
So,
for
yeah,
everybody. It's like that for the top 2%, maybe. Right.
exactly, exactly. Yeah,
And so
definitely.
there is that opportunity. Make no mistake. There's that
Mm,
opportunity at the top of every game. But
yeah,
you got a long road to hoe.
long way.
Okay.
Yeah,
At the
of course.
end, it's better to take a little bit more time, energy, attention, and money to build the private label brand up. That is still an opportunity today. Amazon's economic engine is still growing faster and faster. They were still more profitable at the fourth quarter of 2023 than they were at
Mhm.
the end of 2022. Okay.
Yeah.
So, people are still buying products like crazy. We had 2 clients get successful launches off the ground this week. And so we're watching their business, start to blow up, which is fantastic. So that is still a huge opportunity and upside potential for that, right? What you need
Yeah.
to look at is where is the rest of the market shifting and how do I stay up with that? That's just a fundamental of business, which is to know the market, understand the market, and see where opportunities lie. As I'm
Yeah.
building a business and a brand and I'm starting, say, on Amazon because I'm brand new and I never sold anything online, it's great to go there because there are
Exactly.
150 million people buying every 30 seconds or
Mhm.
less. Great. Send something to where the people are buying. It's 28% of
Mhm.
the market share. They're buying on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
The other thing that's exploding, and you and I talked a little bit about this, and this is a 2024 thing really, is TikTok Shop, right? Three
TikTok.
months
That's
into
very hot
TikTok
now.
Shop, you got at least
Yeah.
one brand I know of, two of them that have topped 800,000 units of
Wow.
sales in 3 months. It is becoming a product discovery platform. It's becoming a brand discovery platform. It's very important to understand, all of that. Of course, there's negatives. We'll talk about those too.
Mm.
No one,
Yeah,
we're gonna balance the thing
yeah.
every time in my mind. I have to do this because so many people get on
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And they talk all about the positives and they sell all the hope and the
Exactly.
dreams and all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
opportunity. And it's like you need the balance. There's a balance to these
Mm.
things, right? And by no shaking any stick, will I consider myself a guru or a
Hmm.
of TikTok shop. I am
TikTok
scaling
expert.
up. I'm scaling up in my own rights right now. I
Yeah.
started to play with the affiliate TikTok creator shop.
Yeah.
I've helped bring some of my clients along with that, so they can learn how to be, in that way and start making some cash, but also looking at the TikTok shop side of it as quickly as possible, which is where you sell your own products and brands.
Yeah.
Where I find it to be more fascinating myself right now in 2024 doing this is that it is another built-in traffic channel. It has its own
Okay.
organic traffic. It's very important you understand the power behind that, right? I could go to Shopify and open a store, but no one's going to find it. I've got to
Hmm.
move people to that offer. I got to move eyeballs onto the offer. TikTok shop right now, huge virility in traffic. Okay. Largest demographic growing right now is above 40 in age. So you're getting
Mm.
a lot of the people
Wow.
with, yeah, a lot of the people
Okay.
who have the money are getting onto
I thought
TikTok.
they were young ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's your buying demographic, right? Somebody who has cash.
Yeah.
And so at the end, you're seeing this trend go extremely fast through all these different kinds of products. The market right now is not matured enough. So you don't see a lot of the higher end products selling as much as you see the lower end products.
I
That's
was
just a
gonna say
market.
that
Yeah, it's just a
the
market maturity
pricing.
thing. hmm
Hmm.
And it's shop, okay, like on Amazon. However, unlike Amazon right now, they don't have any FBA, any fulfilled by Amazon sort of warehousing and storage mechanism. So you have to get a third party logistics company. You have to
Hmm.
warehouse the product yourself and ship the product yourself, which is very much
Yeah.
like the Shopify side.
I
So
think
you
they
have
have a
to wear.
beta, but in the UK they have like a beta fulfillment, but it's like a
Yes.
invite only or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they've
Hmm.
talked about it. They rumored it. They were going to attempt to
Yeah.
pull it off last year and didn't just yet. But they went ahead and
Yeah.
launched the shop. So right now you got, a US-based warehouse and 3PL for your
Hmm.
products. You can move the products. You cannot really drop ship, just to be clear,
Exactly.
in the
Yeah.
way TikTok is very smart in the way they created their platform. So you have to
Mm.
move products, even if you go drop ship from AliExpress or Alibaba or
Exactly.
some other mechanism, you have to put them in a 3PL, right? Because they'll have to be in a
Hmm.
US based logistics, which is your opportunity too. But you still got to buy inventory at the end of
Yeah,
the
there is extra filter. I mean, that's the plus. You're gonna remove a ton of competition that they
correct.
cannot drop ship. So.
Yeah, and they're not letting a lot of duplicate brands on there right now, selling a lot of duplicate products, which I find
Hmm.
interesting. So as you start to become one of the dominants, there are certain market segments where there are two or three people sort of leading the whole thing, and you got to come in with something relatively unique, just like Amazon. You got to come in with something more brand worthy. You can't just flip a standard, AliExpress product on TikTok Shop right now. You may make a few
Okay.
dollars, you may make a few thousand, but you're not going to see the longevity and growth of it because there are other brands moving much faster into that as a branded
Okay.
space. And what you're finding is that a lot of Amazon sellers are getting onto TikTok Shop very fast. So
Okay.
you'll see the
Okay.
crossover happening, and we've been watching this through a couple of larger brand accounts, and 25% crossover is happening. They'll see it on TikTok
Wow.
Shop, but they don't trust it yet.
Okay.
They're not buying it yet, and they're going to the Amazon app,
And so
literally on their
find it.
phone,
Yeah.
and finding
Hmm.
it on Amazon and buying it there. It's about
Okay.
25% roughly right now,
Wow.
plus or minus.
Okay.
So I don't see that
Okay.
changing just yet because you're seeing that people go and buy even higher priced products on
Okay.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Even though they saw the lower price product, they're realizing, well, this might just be a cheap Chinese piece of crap,
Yeah. I was gonna mention that. Like in terms of pricing, that's good.
right? They're looking at the price points. People are getting savvy. We've been online for long
Yeah.
enough, right? You can't just manipulate buyers into certain product values anymore because people are
Yeah.
getting very savvy about what they buy. And so they'll get over
Yeah.
and they'll be like, okay, it may be $10 more on Amazon. And their mind suddenly goes, yeah, of course it is. Because otherwise it's a cheap
Hmm.
Chinese piece of crap. So
Yeah.
they'll buy the more expensive one on Amazon.
Okay.
So you have to look at how those shops are created. We've put a couple of shops online. I'm by no means any selling a lot of product on that right now. We sold a few units. That's the truth. So I'm not
Hmm.
even going to pretend to be an expert right now. I have driven
Okay.
thousands of dollars through the affiliate side. And
Hmm.
so I'm working with some people right now to help get that into a position where it will benefit my brands inside of Voltage and in my client brands to put them in a
Yeah.
position to take adaptability into TikTok Shop with their products and brands as quickly as possible. And I'm bringing experts inside of Voltage who were
Nice.
telling me how to do that and showing us how to do that. And one of them is a lady named Tammy, who's grown up to 1 million people on her
Wow.
accounts inside of TikTok. And she knows exactly how to, and been doing it for 4 years. So she's
Okay.
joined the Voltage team. She's becoming our TikTok insider brand expert and is helping my clients and everybody inside of our brand move into TikTok Shop opportunity. And I got a couple of students I discovered the other day. I have one that I've known since 2015 who is now one of the top candy sellers on TikTok Shop. And I'm like, holy crap, I didn't even know you guys were doing that. So next week, I'm having them inside of our private mastermind chat to talk exactly about how they built this brand
Yeah.
in the United States and have blown it up on TikTok. Like they're selling 100,000 units or more. So
So
they're
in
going
this
to,
TikTok, out of curiosity, because I'm sure a lot of people are gonna ask this, like, do you need to have also very strong content strategy? Like, because we know TikTok is heavy on
heavy
content.
content.
So you need to do a lot of content. Can you even run ads on TikTok Shop?
You
So
can, but organic right
uh,
now with affiliate traffic is your opportunity.
okay,
They have a
okay,
whole affiliate center inside that'll give you basically the ability to reach out to thousands and thousands and thousands of user generated content, UGC content creators whose whole job is to be
okay,
in the TikTok shop creator side and make money
okay.
off of affiliating products where
Of
they don't
showing
have
your
to ship or
product
do it.
basically.
Yeah, they're just
Okay,
arbitraging through affiliation. They're putting up videos,
okay,
they're promoting the product, and bam, they're making a commission. 3, 5, 10, $12 or more. And then they don't touch the
wow.
product or do anything except make the videos. So there's a whole
Mm.
group of people that are becoming just creators
Living out
of
of
those.
that, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I've taught my people how to become creators and they're starting to flip products for creation. So they understand the brand content piece. That's the stepping stones. I brought a bunch of people into what we call our simple profit playbook. And with
Hmm.
that, they're learning how to become creators. So they understand the language, the market, and the mechanism. As they move to brand ownership, they'll understand exactly what the affiliates need to do and how to promote their products, which will take advantage of it. And so we're moving to the next steps of shop really quick. But overarching, the Amazon channel is still the largest channel by measure. It is still
Yeah.
the largest channel of moving inventory and the fastest way right now for you to build brand and brand growth. But understand Shopify is brand discovery. Right now, it's brand
Wow.
discovery because of
Yeah,
uniqueness of your ability to
yeah.
combine social with direct purchasing. If you look at the
Hmm.
way Twitter and Facebook, now Meta, and the others have tried to do it, they have a bit of a disparity gap between pulling somebody from social into one of the mechanisms of which they buy the product.
Yeah.
They tried to work that backwards and have done a very crappy job of it. It has turned into a very
Yes.
crappy job, right?
Yeah.
Amazon just led through with their mobile app, so you can literally connect your Amazon store to a Facebook mobile app and buy
Yeah. Yeah.
directly. So that's
Yeah.
a unique opportunity right there. If you're not aware of it, you should look at that, okay? Because you can literally
Hmm.
do point to click purchases
On
inside of
Facebook.
the Amazon, Meta ad,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huge opportunity for Amazon sellers. If you're not taking advantage of that,
Hmm.
you need to take advantage of that. But
Yeah.
then TikTok Shop should be something you're actually really looking at, even if you're imperfectly doing it. It will elevate your Amazon account. Referral traffic from TikTok right now is
Yeah.
is
It's free
lovely.
traffic basically. It's free
Free
external
traffic,
traffic.
free
Yeah.
exposure. You can no longer use brand referral links in TikTok because they
Yeah.
basically shut
Yeah.
that
Of
off.
course.
How do I
Yeah.
know? Ask me, because they killed all of
Yeah.
our
You
brand
try.
referral links. They torched my Amazon related agency ads account right before
Wow.
they launched Shop 3 years ago. They literally went in and retroactively stopped
Yeah.
all of my ads and said they were all banned, and then it banned my entire
Wow.
account. And then
Wow.
they banned brand referral links, and then they opened TikTok Shop. So it was a bit of a sneaky little move, right?
Yeah.
To do that, they weren't playing fair, and I think that'll probably backfire on them in the future, if you ask me,
Yeah. Yeah.
because of the way they did people. But that's forced a lot of those, Amazon affiliates and influencers who had, link trees and whatnot to forcibly get into TikTok Shop Creator, which has helped create their explosive growth because they had a
Hmm.
following, they had a base, they had a know-how. Their link trees to Amazon brand referrals, which gave them commissions for their influencer side, got broken. So all of a sudden, they
Hmm.
had to go to TikTok Shop Creator and get those same ads up to make the money they were making before. So there's
Yeah.
been a whole eco shift in the last 3 months, which is creating a huge amount of opportunity this year. So my
Mm.
structure format's still the same as it was. You just have to adapt the rules to the game. And it's changed because these platforms are coming online very fast in 2024.
Mhm.
Amazon's changing some of the rules of policy and inventory awareness. You got to make sure that.
Mm.
But Amazon is still the place to buy products. It's
Yeah,
just
for sure.
changing from the place where you discover brands. So it's very
Mm.
powerful to understand the difference there. Your brand could be discovered on Shop, even if you're not making a lot of sales, but you can watch the elevation of your Amazon business on the backside of it.
Impressions. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
So we're
Yeah.
watching that actually occur as we go forward. Yeah. Fascinating
Good.
stuff happening fast.
Good. And in terms of categories, like, are you seeing something working better than other type of products? Like maybe, I don't know, makeup, because it's more inclined to, influencer doing like tutorials and all of that works better than maybe
Absolutely.
selling a
Yeah.
chair. Like, are you seeing those kind of things? Yeah.
Health and wellness, beauty, and electronics
Mhm.
are the top three. Okay.
Okay.
Which are also the hardest top three to break into on Amazon. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So just be aware of that, folks. There's ways to move laterally if you're creative in your mind, because we're innovators, we're not inventors of brands. Okay.
Hmm.
But you can move innovations laterally on some of these products. I've already been witnessing it and making notes and looking at certain products that are selling brand wise on the TikTok shop, because it has to mature certain brands. It will have to, or it will simply become another Shine or a Temu, and they will lose their market share to those guys because they've already made massive
Exactly.
moves in the marketplace. So TikTok
Mhm.
can't do that. And then they can't, but they might do it anyways. And we're going to watch and see, right? The end
Yeah.
result is they're going to have to elevate their product brand line. So for us, it's always elevation of brand line and profitability first. Profitability begets growth. These are the pillars, or the 4 pillars we follow. But growth will get you to scale, and scale gets you to an exit. The 4 pillars, okay? But it starts with
Hmm.
profitability. Everybody wants how many units you move. That's not sexy. That's vanity. They want how much
Hmm.
revenue. That's not sexy. That's vanity. How many units? Once again, not sexy. It's the profitability. So we've got to see certain product profitabilities on the Amazon side above $12 in net profit per unit, or we simply don't play there, which means
Hmm.
products are 50 to 150 in retail price point. They have to be. And by the way, if you go look at the stats from fourth quarter of 2023, those were the highest sold products on Amazon. Everybody thinks
Exactly.
it's all the sub 30 in the lower price products,
Yeah,
but
I mean that's
actually,
what the gurus teach you. Like you sell
oh
a
yeah,
15
no,
product shoe box, but not heavy and
no.
all
Go
of
look
that.
at the data. You'll be very surprised.
Yeah, that's why all people end up selling the same thing over and over, the same
Too much
pampas
saturation at
grass.
that level. We have brand valuation at the level we play at. So I see the next move for TikTok Shop is people who get into that and cross brands over and see prices in the 50 to 150
Mhm.
on TikTok Shop, because I believe it has to go that way if it's going to mature properly, or
Otherwise, they're
it
gonna
won't be
struggle.
another worth the channel. It'll just turn into a Shine
Like a
or
wish,
Piku
or like a wish,
or a
wish
Wish. Yeah,
channel.
Wish.
Yeah.
I love the memes that came out from Wish,
Yeah.
right? It was like, I bought this on Amazon and this is what I
Yeah.
got from Wish. And it was like this tiny
Yeah.
little thing. And it was like, it has been a
I'm
great
afraid
joke.
about TikTok because people, by the conversations I'm having, they have that concern. They already feel things they buy on TikTok is a scam
Yes,
or very cheap. So if they
correct.
don't change very quickly, they're gonna win the reputation that is difficult to then clean.
And they're
So
making a lot of incentives to kind of make that happen. Would I say
yeah,
somebody brand new without any experience in e-commerce go start on TikTok Shop?
yeah.
Possibly. I would say it's a gray area. I'd say go cautiously. Yeah, I mean, my
Hmm.
gut wants to say, yeah, absolutely, you need to go get there. But then I can see really quickly how you're going
Let's
to
say you
back.
have to choose between, let's
Yeah,
say,
it's
Walmart or TikTok. Which one would you do?
well,
Let's
but
say.
Walmart's only like 8% of the market share when it comes to the
Mm,
.com, right? Amazon's like 28% of the market share. So if you're going to spend your time and energy on somewhere where the money's being made, go to Amazon,
yeah,
because
yeah.
that's still 28% of the market
Of
share.
course, of course.
While
Yeah, yeah.
TikTok is growing extremely fast, the buying power is still on Amazon. Now they're going to have to change and adapt too, which is why I see Amazon looking to make some really big shifts this year, and they're starting to already roll some of that out. They have to,
Exactly.
or
Hmm.
they're not going to stay in the same competitive mode. They're going to lose a lot of that market share. But by no means is TikTok Shop going to overtake the top three.
Yeah, of
Like
course.
it
Yeah.
just it's going to take a decade or more for them to do that. They're moving extremely fast, but let's be realistic, right?
Hmm.
They can't do the same infrastructure that Amazon has. So I see them combining forces, or they're going to forcibly get back into more of a joint venture space with Amazon, which means I see them releasing some of the stuff they're doing right now, because they're going to find out if they become that isolated, that big of an island, if they remove brand referral links, if they don't let you talk about Amazon and the
Hmm.
platform and stuff like that, they're simply going to lose market share. They're going to fall
Exactly.
off. And this is my prediction, knowing data and time and market, they're going to have to come back to these things that they just killed. They're going to have to get back to it, because they're going to watch themselves shrink, because they're
Yeah.
going to be seeing a lot of people who are like, well, this is Chinese crap, right? I don't want that. That's
Exactly.
not what I really wanted. That's not, it's like, it's going to fade out really fast, right? But
Awesome.
again, every market shifts and every change has occurred. And right now, it's a good opportunity if you're an Amazon brand owner to consider the shop in TikTok Shop. If you're going to start there, just consider the same logistical problems of moving inventory,
Exactly.
buying inventory, and being like a Shopify seller still
You will need a
exist.
3PL basically. Yeah.
Still going to exist. You still have to play the same game on Amazon. So at the end of the
Hmm.
day, if you're going to buy and move to a product profitability and ask yourself, what the hell am I going to sell? Make sure
Hmm.
that it's at a level that it will match on Amazon and shop on TikTok Shop, and move them both forward, right? Because now you're moving into
Awesome.
dual organic channels, and Shop isn't that hard to sign up. It's actually right now
Exactly.
really easy compared to Seller Central.
Yeah, it's
You can
straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super simple on TikTok Shop right now. So you might as well go ahead and claim your brand stake and claim your
Just in
brand
case.
on
Yeah.
them, and set up that
Yeah.
flag and point it there, even if you don't do anything with it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So, I mean, it's been such an amazing conversation. I learned so much. I need to go back to my team now and start implementing some stuff. So, before we end, is there anything else you would like to share in terms of, what is been happening and what is going to happen in
Mm,
2024 for all those private levels as an advice, or maybe just a voice of encouragement for
yeah.
what we're seeing in the space? Yeah.
Well, let's do both, because at the end of the day, it takes three things to become an entrepreneur. It takes
Yeah.
tenacity, grit, and perseverance. If those are not three things ingrained in your brain, then this may not be the business model for you. Okay. You may want to go do real estate, because that's kind of just
Mhm.
like, just kind of stays the same for a
Exactly.
long time, right? There's a
It's not right, coaster.
volatility of e-commerce that does require you to have sort of a natural ingrained ability to overcome objections, personal objections, mental objections,
Yeah.
challenges in the market, and persevere through that. When you do, you become part of the unique tribe. You become part of the group of people who are successful building these companies at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And I would encourage
Exactly.
anybody who is okay with a little risk and okay with the opportunity of building something and building a new life, a dream, an opportunity for 3 to 5 years, and shifting their move away from something that's side hustle or hobby business and really focus into what is a business model that can last me for a long time. That's what I'm
Exactly.
talking about, because that's how I live. I live on 50 acres in the country now. This is my life, podcasting and talking and building brands online. I homeschool my 4 daughters with my wife. We live a dream a
Nice.
lot of people do. We got a heritage seed garden. We live in the country, and we absolutely enjoy the freedoms that America still allows, which a lot of people don't think exists. But I'm here to encourage you. It still exists, and it's right in front
Yeah.
of you to go get. So just literally turn off all that other crap, right? Just put on a little bit of blinders, okay? Just know you're going to have to work through the process, and quite honestly, you're going to separate yourself from all that noise, right? Don't listen to the noise, turn it off. There's so much
Mm.
opportunity with ecom. The end of last year was projected about 1.1 trillion in sales, which was up from the 800 or just
A
under
lot.
1 billion in sales in the United States. Where, sorry, I got the numbers right, because the global side is going to go from
Mhm.
about 6.4 to 6.7 on prediction this
Mhm.
year, which means the global e-commerce side is still huge and is barely tapping the surface of some of the largest industries in the world. So it's not there yet. If anybody says, e-commerce is a down and people don't want to buy, well, record sales for the fourth quarter last year would prove you wrong. People are
Yeah.
still buying products. I mean, if you bought $1.50 in gasoline 3 years ago, you're paying $3.50 for it now. So guess what? Products will shift in the market, and while inflation changes happen, people still want products. And so I would always advise people who are looking for a business, an opportunity, if they want to build it up so it's an almost automated income FBA, they need to follow certain processes and things to do that. That way they can hang out with their family and not work 80 hours a week, because I've been down that
Yeah.
path and I can teach you a different way. But at the end of the line, there's a huge amount of opportunity for brand building and growth, starting with Amazon and this year, but shifting into a secondary channel. You need a secondary channel. The last part of that
Yeah.
is, when you build a business, you need multiple channels, because the opportunity
Mhm.
to exit becomes much greater. People need to understand
Yeah.
that is the business strategy, to build an exit. Okay, that is your opportunity to build an exit. Once you learn how to do that, you unlock the keys to the kingdom. Sales fixes
Awesome.
everything. So I would encourage everybody to get in there, learn how to make some sales. Don't treat it like a side hustle or a hobby business. If you're going to be serious, build a
Important.
business opportunity with it, and then you will see that there's so much potential that you might be missing. And that's my word of encouragement for
Wow.
everybody. Don't give
Way
up,
to
man.
close it. Way to close it. Very good, man. Awesome. So I know you also have a very interesting book that you just released. So
I
tell us a
did.
little bit about that and how people can get a
Yeah.
hold, and finally also how people can reach out to you and your company. Yeah.
Well, in simple terms, Voltage has a playbook. We've had it. We've been around for a long time. This is our 11th, almost 12th year in Amazon's business space. So the playbook we've written has been adapted and grown through thousands and millions of dollars and millions of units moved. And that playbook we put into a book format in what's called Almost Automated Income with FBA. It's available on
Mhm.
Amazon and our website. We got like a 70% off deal going on our website right now, where you can grab it. But my mentor, who's been around with me since about 2016, Kevin
So
Harrington, who's taught me a lot about business and physical product growth. He was the
mhm.
original shark on Shark Tank and has done
I
billions
remember.
of
Yeah.
dollars in sales. And he has
Yeah.
been a huge instrument in the forward progressing aspect of the
Yeah.
physical product world business, between infomercial creation, which he invented, and other stuff. I
Yeah.
had the honor of having him write the forward for the book. And he talks about some of the business and things that we've done together in that book. And really, the interviews of the podcast people that I've been honored to be a part of my High Voltage Business Builders podcast were featured in there. There's 15 of them. Each
Mm.
of them are different industry experts in what they do best. But in the areas we spoke about in the interviews, it actually follows the 5 steps of our playbook. And each expert was telling their piece of that tied to the way that our playbook works, and that became the book. So it was kind of a long
Okay.
labor of love between the podcasting and writing the book, about over a year worth of effort in that. And then we
Wow.
just released it in January of this year, and became number one new release in entrepreneurial and marketing on Amazon. And now we're
Mhm.
using that to kind of forward the understanding of literally building a business that creates a lifestyle that can allow you
Awesome.
to live and breathe and, right on the beach, literally, or do other
Yeah.
things, not in the guru mindset. Okay. But in a
Yeah. Yeah.
real business building format that gives you that freedom and opportunity to create that. And we talk about that through the entire component of the book.
Awesome, Nice. So thank you so much. I'm gonna make sure to put all the information down in the description. And in the
Awesome.
meantime, I appreciate your knowledge and looking forward to having the next one. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah,
Thank you
it's
so
been a
much for
pleasure.
having me on. I'm honored. I appreciate